All right, folks, you're going to want to sit down for this one because what we're about to break down is pure insanity. We've got unelected bureaucrats trying to take over. Also, welcome back to the channel where we call out the corruption, expose the nonsense. If you're sick of the mainstream media, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we're just getting started. So, while all of this chaos is unfolding, Congresswoman Harriet Hageman of Wyoming is speaking the truth loud and clear. Take a listen to what she had to say.
Community. I grew up on a ranch. The USDA for several years has been trying to force our cattle and bison producers to use what are called RFID or EID ear tags, electronic identification ear tags. They want to chip them all. And I've been fighting against this, and they say it's for disease traceability. If there's a brucellosis outbreak or hoof and mouth disease, we've got to know that immediately so we can isolate that animal, and et cetera. We have the very best disease traceability program anywhere in the world in the United States. It's worked beautifully for hundreds of years. It's extremely effective. We're able to isolate animals immediately if there's an issue, despite the fact, and in addition to which we have the healthiest herds of anywhere in the world. So you look at all of that, and so you think, okay, what is this really about? And then you start looking at the countries that have implemented this. Ireland implemented it in early 2022. By August of 23, they were issuing an order that they had to slaughter 41,000 head of cattle, not because of a disease outbreak, but because of global warming. In the Netherlands, Denmark, they adopted an EID mandate, and last year they imposed a $100 a head tax on every single head of cattle in the country, not because of a disease outbreak, because of global warming. So what you start seeing is how they use this information. This is a $1.2 to $1.9 billion tax on the cattle industry if it's actually implemented 100%, which is where they want to go. That isn't Congress who passed that law. That is an administrative agency that has constrained the rights of the ranchers to do what they think is in the best interest of their business and their herds. Ranchers don't want disease outbreaks. It could devastate them. It could destroy them.
So let me get this straight. These bureaucrats want to track every cow, force ranchers to tag them with government chips, and then, when that data conveniently supports their global warming narrative, they start slaughtering cattle by the tens of thousands? Are you kidding me? Ireland forced farmers to kill 41,000 cows, not because of disease, but because some bureaucrat decided cows are bad for the climate. Denmark slaps a $100 per head tax, again, not for health reasons, just because cows exist. And now, surprise, surprise, the USDA wants the same tracking system here? Give me a break. These ranchers have kept America fed for centuries without this nonsense. The only thing this accomplishes is giving the government full control over our food supply. And once they have that, they get to decide how much beef you're allowed to eat. And this isn't about climate change. It's about control. And if you don't see that by now, I don't know what to tell you.
We do a very, very, very good job of maintaining and protecting our healthy herds. We don't need the USDA to get involved in doing that. But you can multiply that by millions. The number of regulations, regulations are over 3,000 major regulations a year. We're passing 150 laws. A major regulation is one that has an economic impact of over $100 million. So we've got
3,000 regulations are being passed a year, each one of which have an impact of $100 million.
Over $100 million. Over 100.
And none of them are passed by elected representatives. They're all passed by
unelected bureaucrats.
By bureaucrats, by the bureaucracy.
By the bureaucracy. So let's look at the 2009 endangerment finding that came out of the EPA. The endangerment finding is where they concluded that CO2, methane, NOx, and 3 other gases are pollutants, all of which exist in the natural environment. They cannot, by definition, be determined to be pollutants. Yet the EPA defined them as pollutants. That is the basis for all of the global warming, all of the climate change stuff that we have been dealing with, the mandate on EV vehicles, the mandate that's shutting down our coal-fired power plants. England has the highest electricity rates of any country in the world.
Yes, 4 or 5x what you've got in the States.
And it's because of the nonsense of these bureaucrats adopting these regulations without any input from the citizenry whatsoever. So the endangerment finding I refer to as the head of the snake. But that is where they got the power to then demand that we get rid of all coal-fired power plants, that we have to go to wind and solar, which which is unreliable and unaffordable, that we don't have a supply chain, that we have to give up eating beef. It is the way that the bureaucracy, that the elite class, that the overeducated have permeated every aspect of our government and taken away our civil rights, every regulation at a time.
So
Congress, the people you and I elect, passes about 150 laws a year. Meanwhile, these unaccountable bureaucrats are cranking out 3,000 major regulations, each one costing over $100 million. And we have zero say in any of it. It's always been about power and control. This was the magic trick that gave these lunatics the power to regulate everything. They just decided that carbon dioxide, a gas that, I don't know, plants need to survive, is now a pollutant. Same with methane, nitrogen oxides, basic parts of nature. And just like that, boo, they now have the legal power to shut down coal plants, ban gas cars, tax your food, and, oh yeah, tell you beef is bad for the planet. You see how this is all starting to work? They don't pass laws, they don't debate anything, they just make a ruling, declare it science, and you have to comply. And the result? Energy prices skyrocket. Your food gets taxed into oblivion, and you're just supposed to shut up and accept it. This isn't regulation. It's a takeover.
As I was screaming at the top of my lungs and refusing to wear a mask and refusing shots and all of these various things, I filed the very first lawsuit in the United States against vaccine mandates. I sued Michigan State University because they refused to acknowledge natural immunity. But while
Did you win?
No, because it was the first lawsuit and judges are scared. But we won the next ones. We won the lawsuit for all contractors, all federal contractors, and we won the lawsuit for all federal employees, that they did not have to have the vaccines. That the vaccine mandates under Biden were illegal. But you do these things because incrementally you have to win them. But the point that I made during all of this is people would say, but it's an emergency. And I'd say, that's the only time the Constitution is the most important. When I'm just walking down the street minding my own business, that's not when it matters. It matters when there's a crisis. Our civil liberties and the protection of our civil liberties matter when there's a crisis, not when things are easy. And that's why it is so important to have the renaissance that we're seeing here at ARC, the renaissance that we're seeing with the election of Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, the renaissance that we're seeing with the various bills, such as the First Amendment Accountability Act. We are attempting to make it clear that our civil liberties, our rights really do come from God. Government cannot constrain them. That is the light that we want to...
Elon Musk is out here exposing just how much of a money laundering operation our government agencies have become. And guess what? The Democrats are mad about it. Who could have seen that coming? Oh, that's right. Anyone with a functioning brain? Oh, wow. You mean to tell me that the Department of Education, the people who are supposed to be teaching our kids, is actually just a bloated bureaucracy siphoning billions into Democrat-friendly consultants? Shocking. I'm stunned. And if you didn't catch my sarcasm, trust me, it's definitely there. I mean, just sit with that for a second. Less than 25% of a $280 billion budget actually goes to education. Where does the rest go? Oh, just to consultants who then conveniently donate back to the Democrats. So let's be clear, this isn't about educating kids. This is about keeping the Democrat money machine running. Ding, 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 we have a winner. This isn't just wasteful spending. This is straight up legalized money laundering. They take your tax dollars, funnel them through a maze of consultants and NGOs, and what do you know? A chunk of that cash magically ends up funding Democrat campaigns. What a coincidence. The Democrats are mad because their house of cards is finally getting exposed. And guess what? We're all here for it. Keep calling it out, Musk. Keep shining that light. Well, that's all I've got for you guys in this one. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And hey, let me know what you think about Doge so far. Are you in or are you out? Drop your thoughts in the comments.